The name Iron Mike once carried the weight of a siren, a sound that made crowds tense and opponents tremble before a single punch was thrown. Mike Tyson was never just a boxer. He was an event, a whirlwind of raw power, speed, and menace that transformed any ring into a battlefield. Every entrance was electric, every gaze charged with anticipation. Yet behind the spectacle was a boy shaped by hardship and absence, a life forged in the shadows of poverty and instability. Now, at 59, Tyson stands as more than a legend of boxing. He is a man confronting the quieter, more complicated battles of memory, mortality, and the meaning of legacy. The roar of the crowd has faded, leaving only reflection, a struggle not for victory over opponents, but over himself, the most challenging fight of all. Brooklyn beginnings, childhood in a tough neighborhood born on June 30th, 1966. In Brooklyn, New York, Tyson entered a world stacked against him. His biological father disappeared early, leaving a gap that shaped his understanding of trust and belonging. Other father figures came and went, leaving his mother, Lorna, as the sole constant. She struggled to maintain stability in Brownsville, a neighborhood infamous in the 1970s for violence and poverty. Hunger, fear, and the omnipresent threat of danger were daily realities. Tyson's early life was marked by isolation. His oversized glasses and lisp made him a target, and attempts to fit in often backfired. Survival became instinctive. He learned to read threats, anticipate aggression, and protect himself at all costs. This environment did not nurture innocence. It forged toughness. Tyson's early years were a crucible, preparing a boy for battles far beyond his age, while laying the foundation for the fighter he would become. Pigeons and the first lessons in loss. Amid the chaos of Brownsville, Tyson discovered a rare sanctuary on neighborhood rooftops where he raised pigeons. These fragile birds offered a sense of security, tenderness, and quiet companionship in a world that offered little comfort. He fed them, spoke to them, and entrusted them with secrets he shared with no one else. But one afternoon, a neighborhood boy killed his favorite pigeon. The loss struck Tyson like a physical blow, imprinting a lesson he would carry into adulthood. Powerlessness could not be tolerated. Grief became anger, and tenderness transformed into determination. From that moment, Tyson began to channel his emotions outward, learning that survival required strength and assertiveness. The rooftops faded, replaced by a hunger for control and respect. The lessons of vulnerability and resilience intertwined, shaping the man who would enter the ring with a ferocity few could comprehend. A fighter not only of opponents, but of circumstance itself. Meteoric rise. Youngest heavyweight champion Tyson's professional debut came in 1985 at 18, ending in under 2 minutes. What followed was a cascade of knockouts, 15 in his first year. Opponents crumpled beneath combinations delivered with astonishing speed and precision. On November 22, 1986, Tyson defeated Trevor Berbick to become the youngest heavyweight champion ever. He quickly unified the division, claiming WBA and IBF titles, and by 21, he was the undisputed champion. His 91-second demolition of Michael Spinks in 1988 solidified his legend. Tyson didn't just win, he redefined fear in the ring. Spectators were not merely watching a fight, they were witnessing an almost supernatural display of power and agility. His presence transformed arenas into stages of tension and awe, making each punch a moment of suspense. At this stage, Tyson was more than a fighter. He was a phenomenon, a symbol of controlled fury and an unstoppable force in human form. The cracks appear, loss and guidance lost. Even at the peak of his power, Tyson's foundations began to crumble. Cus D'Amato died in 1985, just as Tyson's rise reached its zenith. Soon, his manager, Jimmy Jacobs, passed away, and trainer Kevin Rooney departed. In the absence of disciplined mentorship, Tyson's life became increasingly chaotic. Training diminished, nights extended, and distractions multiplied. In 1990, he faced Buster Douglas in Tokyo, an underdog whom Tyson underestimated. In the 10th round, he collapsed in a historic upset. The defeat was more than physical. It was symbolic, revealing the fragility beneath invincibility. The loss showed that even the strongest fighter could fall without guidance, structure, and focus. Tyson's ego and fame had replaced the mentorship that had once channeled his aggression, leaving him vulnerable. This defeat marked the beginning of a tumultuous period, exposing how personal and emotional voids can undermine even the most legendary talent. Prison. Solitude and self-reflection. In 1992, Tyson was convicted of rape and sentenced to prison, a stark removal from fame and fortune. For 3 years, he faced silence, isolation, and the consequences of years of impulsive choices. Prison became a mirror, forcing him to confront anger, guilt, and the path that had led him there. He read extensively, converted to Islam, and began reflecting on the forces shaping his life. Stripped of identity as a champion, Tyson discovered that true strength required introspection. When he returned to boxing in 1995, he regained titles briefly, but the aura of invincibility had changed. No longer purely a phenomenon, Tyson became a man aware of flaws and limits. The experience illustrated a harsh truth: success without discipline and self-awareness can become destructive, and redemption often requires stepping back, confronting oneself, and seeking balance. The ear-biting incident. Inner turmoil exposed. Tyson's return to the ring was marked by both brilliance and volatility. In 1997, during a bout with Evander Holyfield, he infamously bit his opponent's ear. The incident shocked fans and critics, symbolizing a loss of control that had haunted Tyson throughout his life. The act was more than aggression. It was a public manifestation of unresolved trauma. The ring, once a place of empowerment, became a stage for self-sabotage. Tyson's inner battles, rooted in childhood loss and abandonment, spilled into public view. For many, it marked the transition from awe-inspiring champion to cautionary tale. The moment underscored a deeper reality. Even the most powerful external forces cannot compensate for internal unrest. Tyson's story had become not only about victories, but also about the human struggle with anger, impulse, and reconciliation. Wealth and collapse. Lessons beyond the ring. Tyson earned over $400 million, yet by 2003, he declared bankruptcy with debts exceeding $20 million. Lavish spending, poor management, and ongoing legal issues eroded his fortune. Mansions, exotic cars, and entourages masked insecurity rather than resolving it. In losing wealth, Tyson faced lessons that no championship could teach. Identity, stability, and self-worth cannot rely solely on applause or material abundance. The collapse highlighted the fragility of external success without internal foundation. For a man once defined by dominance in the ring, this period was humbling. It revealed that life's most significant victories often occur outside the spotlight, in self-understanding, humility, and the ability to rebuild from ruin. Tyson's journey illustrates that personal evolution is as critical as professional triumph, and the hardest battles are often fought beyond public view. Conclusion: the quiet fight of legacy. Today, Mike Tyson is no longer simply a fearsome fighter. He is a man confronting memory, age, and meaning. The roar of the crowd has faded, leaving room for reflection and introspection. His life embodies the complexity of human experience, triumph born of hardship, brilliance shadowed by vulnerability, and power tempered by discipline and its loss. Tyson's story is both cautionary and inspiring. showing that strength without guidance can be destructive, while resilience and reflection can forge a second life. Beyond the knockouts and spectacle lies a man continually reconstructing identity, grappling with the past, and seeking purpose. The ultimate victory is no longer measured by titles or fame, but by the capacity to confront oneself, grow, and endure, a fight far more challenging than any in the ring.